Anyways, Rogue One.
Yes! Rogue One.
It's that time, people. Everybody in the chat right now.
You know what? Ladies first, because this was weird. Because Ali, I was talking to you about the movie when you first came back, and it was just kind of like on the fence. You was just like, I don't know. But you said you want to go see it again, and after a second viewing, you was like, I actually really like it. I love the fuck out of this movie. But Ali, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yes. So the first time I saw it, I didn't know, like, I was kind of in a tizzy. Like, it was a different experience than I thought it was. I know, right? Like, I was like, I don't know. So I think the tone was just very different than what I'm used to with Star Wars. And so I didn't really give time to really process, like, did I really like it? I mean, I still have some problems with it. But like when I saw it the second time, that's where I was like, you know what? This is freaking awesome. This is like just classic Star Wars stuff people really wanted to see, I think, in The Force Awakens. And honestly, I really started to like the tone. I like the darker tone. I like the more serious tone. Although it's not too depressing or anything, but it's just like a great balance. And I just feel like it gives another level of realism to the world. And I just, man, that last hour, oh my God.
Imagine.
One thing I want to put up there for anyone listening to this is that, we're an affiliate of Double Toasted. So, last stuff that we talk about is about Double Toasted and their reviews, etc. And the one thing I want to bring up, is the fact that they gave this a full price, which is their like 4 out of 5 stars, right? Is that the right number?
Yeah, pretty much, 4 out of 5. Because they actually said it wasn't perfect, but they liked it just because of the stakes. They said out of all Star Wars movies, it ain't that kid shit. Like they say, ain't your daddy Star Wars no more. It felt like the stakes were high, and it just felt really serious. They said, like, even to the point that it's kind of like a little depressing. Like, he was just like, man, give these characters a break. Like, holy shit.
Anthony just go off of that, like, this is the real Suicide Squad. Nah,
exactly.
Shit we got in August.
When I saw the movie, when it started off, I didn't know how to feel about it, just because it started kind of in its own way, and as the movie progressed, I started to really get into how the tone of the movie was, and just even though there wasn't really a lot of character development, I was digging it because I like war films. I like movies that show a lot of good action and battle. And this movie delivered in spades. And because I'm a Star Wars fan, it's not even of the movies and the TV shows, but the books as well. This is the first movie that actually gave me the same experience in tone and feel that I would get from the books. That had that tension, that realism, that there are actual stakes, there's actual possibility of death. And the one thing I will applaud this movie on is the fact that even though you're used to most Star Wars films having some sense of Deus Ex Machina somewhere, everywhere, this movie really didn't have it as much. Like you didn't know if people were going to live or die, so it was like anybody's up for grabs as far as like getting it. And that's what made the movie really grounded for me and really well. Plus, the third act was. God, if there was a way for me to explode with jizz in the theater, I could have. Just because
I understand this.
My popcorn! You got jizz in my popcorn, you asshole!
But just because of how well it was shot, how detailed it was, and even the fact that they took time to make everything connect and make sense. I mean, it's a full price movie in my book. Yeah, I agree there were some problems here and there, but for the most part, it was the best I've ever seen as far as movie form, and it was the best time I ever seen Vader not look like a pussy, not look like a weakling, actually look like the badass he was supposed to look like and be. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that definitely great.
When Vader came out, it was like Warren G.
Regulators.
I'm actually going to get somebody else's opinion, Justin Zeri, in the chat, because he had messaged me making sure he was actually going to talk about this. He was like, man, Ali is going to probably hate me. But Justin, it seems like you didn't like this movie so much, did you?
Yeah, I really didn't, actually.
Yeah,
I was kind of bummed. My biggest complaint is that they try to make this so character focused, and the biggest problem is this movie has no character. All the characters, all you know about them is exactly what you see in the trailer. There's nothing deeper to them other than, Jin is a rebel. Cassian is kind of a neutral dude who, floats between light and dark. The Japanese swordsman dude, Chirrut, he's the Japanese swordsman. There's no character depth to any of these people. So even though, I will say this, the third act is a very well done piece of action filmmaking. It's a great set piece. But the first 2/3 of this movie are so boring. It's so dull. Like, all the dialogue is awful. The characters don't have any substance to them, so I don't really invest in the situation. Like, really, Riz Ahmed's character, Bodhi, could have been written out of the movie and it would have made any difference. He has zero purpose in being in the story. And the thing that killed me the most, the fan service. Like, for all you people complain that Force Awakens is too fan service heavy, no, this movie is fan service heavy. Like, literally, Force Awakens, someone said it best. I think it was Marcus, actually. I was talking to him. It's like, Force Awakens wears it on the sleeves. And then I'm like, yeah, but Rogue One puts it on the ground and goes, look, there, right there. Look at that.
Literally.
Oh, look at that, right there. It was just, I didn't have any fun with it. It was fun on a very technical, artistic level, but honestly, Force Awakens has more personality, better dialogue, and it's actually funny. Like, there's also nothing funny, personally.
Hey, actually, one throw a question at you, Justin. Chris Jamal in chat, he was like, should the characters be that deep, though? Because this is a prequel.
Yes.
So, what do you think?
You watch Star Wars for the characters. You can watch any movie for, stop the bad guy plots, but this movie hinges on the fact, because it's a Seven Samurai movie. Seven Samurai only works because the characters are great in Seven Samurai.
But with Seven Samurai, you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, okay, like I'm in for this road because I'm like, okay, are they going to live or not? This movie, everyone knows they're going to die. So it's like, this kind of like a horror movie in a way where you just want to see Darth Vader fuck some shit up. You want to see him and his team just destroy people, right?
Yeah, which, Nick, not to spoil anything, but with saying that, but one thing I do like is the way that it ended. Like, before the final scene, the actual ending of the story, I had plotted the movie for that. I was worried they were going to do a cop out, but they actually, stuck to their guns on the story.
Okay, so that's awesome. What about you, Adrian? Because you don't have much to say. Another lady perspective on this movie. What did you think about the film? And do you agree with Justin's points?
I can see where he's coming from. I mean, I really love the movie, but I agree. Like, the first 2/3, I felt like it dragged at times. And I felt like the characters in, like, say, Force Awakens, they had better chemistry. But yeah, that last act, like, holy shit, that was amazing.
I would say this, because I know me and Alien stuff, we was talking about this before the movie, but they had noticed that a lot of scenes that was in the trailer didn't make it to the final cut, the actual final theatrical release.
That bothered me.
Did that bother you at all? Like, no.
It bothered me
a little.
Very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying, also they do that thing I hate in movies where they show a scene that you saw in the trailers, but a different take of it, and the different take is usually no better than the one in the trailer. Like, Chirrut's big line, like, I fear nothing. All this is the Force.
Justin, yes. It was that one and Forrest Whitaker's character. Like, that line he says in the trailer. It was said better in the trailer than it was in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this made it to the movie because I fucking, like, this ruined the whole trailer for me is save the dream. Like, was that still in the fucking movie?
Yeah, that's still in the movie.
Okay, that's
He
fucking
sounds just
take
like
that
that,
shit
Nick.
out.
Actually, you're not kidding.
No, he used to take on that one.
Yeah, I hate
like
that. I don't know what people, and maybe we can turn this into a thing next week or something because I know you guys don't want to do it now, but, like, why do people like Forrest Whitaker?
Man, Forrest Whitaker, like, he started out in the beginning of the movie, like, you saw him on this screen, and he was talking normally, and then, like, you cut to years later, and he has this voice like this!
I know.
Like this!
Like
With
a rebellion.
I don't know, that's a weird voice choice. I don't know what.
I used to see him, having sex.
If you guys pay attention to the character, he's actually constantly breathing through a mask. I don't know if you guys met people who have lung problems, but they talk like that.
Yeah.
There was no exaggeration.
It was weird.
Like that.
That was just the thing.
Yeah, that's how they talk. I knew somebody with a shrunken lung, and that's exactly how they sound when they have lung damage. Whispery, wheezing, can't yell.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
some
actually,
people I know talk like, but like they're not in the fucking movie. Like,
I'm actually gonna throw
I would
another
love to
question.
hear Force Whitaker say like that, like.
Yeah, but he's injured in the movie though, Nick, and they make a lot of mentions to that. Like he's constantly breathing the face mask in between dialogue. Like they're constantly pointing out that he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know what was cool though is that they actually Forrest Whitaker's character is from the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
so it's a really cool tie-in to that series. It just shows that like, hey, we haven't forgotten about some stuff from the prequels. I also actually, as much as some people really don't like what's his name, Jimmy Smith, Organa.
Awful.
I
like him.
I know someone else. Wait, Alan. I think Alan has a real issue with him. For some reason, but I also like that they brought back him, and as well as the actress who played Mon Mothma in the prequels.
She was great. She was spot on, Mon Mothma.
I loved it. I loved the entire thing. Like, cause, look, I kind of closed my eyes in between, but that was only because I had just got off work and I really wanted to see the movie before, like, cause it's storming like in my area right now. It's been storming ever since yesterday, so I really wanted to go and see the movie. So I had no choice but to leave as soon as I left work and to go see it. And I kind of like when they were like flying through hyperspace. Not a spoiler, of course. They're flying in fucking space. That's not a spoiler at all. like when they were going through hyperspace.
Spaceships in this movie.
Like when they were flying, I just kind of closed my eyes for a second. I still could hear what was going on, so I was just like, okay, if something happens, I'll just open my eyes and it'll be there. But I overall I love this entire film. I heard your complaint, Justin, about this having no character. I think that the most important thing about this movie is that it brought so much character to the rebellion in general. Because a lot of people like to classify the rebellion or the Republic as these goody two shoe underdog type army that are willing to do everything. No, this movie shows that one man's hero is another man's terrorist. While these guys are trying to be rebel fighters, to another person they're basically anarchists. They're in the I can't think of the guy's name, the other guy that you follow besides Jyn Erso, the one that finds her in jail.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian.
Yeah.
He shows a really different side of the rebellion. He shows that he is willing to do certain things that you would have to do in a war, in an army that they never have shown in any of the movies, in any of the prequels. I think that added a new layer to the entire rebellion. Is you guys aren't just goody two shoes. They've been in a war for 20 plus years. They're ready for this shit to be over with.
Hey, Rashad, I agree, but I think what Justin meant was that the individuals as characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I know you meant the individuals, but I was saying the rebellion, the rebels themselves as characters, that group. It added that.
I like how this guy over here in the Star Wars trailers look these motherfuckers about to fight.
Rage.
I thought the movie was good, but it wasn't great. I thought the ending was the masterpiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last act, notice how we all say the last act was amazing. But there's a reason why we only say that part is amazing, because the rest of the movie was kind of subpar. Let's be honest.
Okay, and I want to ask all of you guys too, because when Allie came back and she was talking to us, because the same director that did this did Godzilla, and she was saying the first time she seen it, it was kind of the same problems that people have with Godzilla, where the last act that y'all all seen, y'all praising, y'all wish that was a little bit earlier, or kind of had a little bit more lead into that. Did y'all feel that?
I wish there was a better build-up. If the first two acts didn't feel so rushed and cluttered, if they took their time to build up these characters and talk to them, doing the Dirty Dozen, where y'all get to watch these characters do things together. I think that was for me.
The exact same problems I had with Godzilla, I had with this movie. Literally the exact same problems.
Yep,
same actors. So that director seems like he needs to change his whole director.
I think the final third is incredible, but the build up to get there would be better. And when I've seen better war movies do that, like Glory or Platoon or Aliens or Saving Private Ryan, this film falls woefully short in that aspect.
Okay.
Actually, Glory is a good
they
example.
can't go
That's a
full
good
out
film.
war movie though.
But that's what they sold it as. They sold it as a war film.
It's Disney, so
you
can only go so far with a Disney movie. They want to sell toys and stuff to kids. They want to still make it family friendly.
Did y'all Allie, want to ask you first? Did you feel like they pushed that envelope just enough under that Disney tag?
Oh yeah, they definitely did. I think they were very ballsy to make a lot of different choices in this movie. It's a step in the right direction. I really hope that they take inspiration from this and start doing that more with Star Wars. You don't have to do that with every single movie, but like I think the episode franchise should be its own thing. If you want to make it more lighthearted, that's great. But I think these spin-offs should definitely have a more grittier tone. I would really love to see more of
I can see the Han Solo film being darker like this because it's dealing with bounty hunters, probably.
Maybe I
Lego
see that
movie
more
directors.
lighthearted, like maybe Indiana Jones type of feel.
Rashad, I want to ask you first, does this get you a little bit more hype for the spin-off Star Wars titles? Like you said, do you want this to have the other spin-off titles or the other films in the trilogy, the main trilogy, you want them to have a little bit more darker tone because of this movie?
I definitely do want them to have a little bit more of a darker tone to it because just like as like somebody that's been a Star Wars fan for a long time, my favorite type of droids are the ones that are sarcastic and have like a little bit of a dark humor edge to them, and that's exactly what the droid was in Rogue One, K2SO. Like all the droids are like dark and like they're really snarky and they don't mind killing humans. Like those are like the droids that I find like kind of hilarious. And that's what he was. And I kind of want them to bring that in a little bit more. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing more spinoffs in the future. Like I've repeatedly said since the beginning, like I hope they do something like in the Old Republic era.
Yes.
Like,
Please make it happen.
Like after they get done with like episode 8 and 9, and they're thinking like, okay, where do we go from here? You have the Old Republic right there. That is thousands of years of history right there that you can just touch on right there.
For the movie.
Final rating, I gave it a 9.5. And like, because my only problem was the CGI character, like you guys said with Tarkin. Like, he was fine in the beginning, but the repeated use of him over and over, it's like, y'all could have did like some from like a shot of him from the back speaking. That kind of would have like, it would have been better than you all just like being so proud of it. You have to show us his face and like how he looks. Like, look how good we did this. Like, it's so much better than the way Jeff was in Tron Legacy. Remember how he was in that movie, guys? Yeah. It's so much better than that. Than we had the technology back then, guys. It's like, you don't need to show that off. Like, he looks cool, but calm it down.
My final rating on this, I still have to go to full price. And regardless of, my many issues with the film, one, it takes way too long for the build-up to matter, but because it was still enjoyable, because Jyn Erso was such a good character, because the final third was one of my all-time favorite moments this year. I still enjoyed the movie, and I hope that they use this as a template to explore this universe. We've had enough of the Skywalkers. It's time to do something different. And I put this over to Force Awakens because this gave me something different. Does it have its issues? Yeah, but because this actually took a chance, it actually made a prequel that's actually worth watching. It actually made Vader a villain that I'm actually going to be scared of tonight. It's taking Star Wars an exciting universe, and I'm excited to see what they do with the Han Solo movies, with the Boba Fett, if they do that, with the Old Republic. Hell, you just have this vast universe, and I'm excited with this movie that they can actually do something useful with it.
Star Wars' biggest problem right now is that it's too in love with its own mythology. Like, this movie, the fact that it's so jam-packed with fan service, like, even to minute details. They brought back the red and gold commanders from New Hope, where I'm like, wait a minute, those same actors from that thing, or at least they made them look like that. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing where they feel like they really want to explore new ground, but I don't know if it's them or the fans, they won't let them go past having to make the references to connect back to the old films. And so I'm really hoping that just be free to do new stuff. Like, it makes me actually look back at Force Awakens and said, well, at least it gave us characters, I think, who have a lot of potential and some really good ideas. No, I was going to say, moving forward, I really hope that, the main series, like the episodes and that stuff, they just continue pushing new stuff. Like, okay, fine. They got A New Hope out of the way with Force Awakens. So just do something different. Do something radically new. But I mean, if I had to give it a rating, I was at matinee when I left the theater, but the more I thought about the stuff I didn't like, it kind of went down to a high rental for me. And I got to say, the high rental came to the point when I realized, okay, Darth Vader, his action scene, the one big scene that everyone's waiting for, you have to wait through the entire movie to get to, was great. But that pun was a Mr. Freeze level pun. It was the worst.
Nah.
That was awful. It
wasn't awful. It was not out of character. Do you forget all of the quips he would say in the original? He was a troll. Like, apology accepted, Captain Nina. What's the other one?
He still made a lot better jokes.
Don't choke on your ambitions, Justin.
That's totally up
That was a spoiler, but you did it right, so I'm gonna let it pass.